Well, Jeffrey, thank you for your willingness to come on. I know that, the past few weeks have undoubtedly been, different, but you're someone who's weathered many storms. And when COVID first hit, I mean, even when this was like 2 months ago, you guys were proactive from the very beginning. Like, if you could speak to some of the things that you guys did and what your initial response was.
Well, I sat down and I came up with a three-prong approach. Number one, we started an attorney hotline, welcoming the community to call in, and we would help with any problem. Even if it's something that wasn't within our practice area, we would either find the solution or find a lawyer that would help them with their problem. The second thing we did was we started a COVID-19 resource page on our website, meldonlaw.com, to help people know where they could go to find agencies that would help them through the COVID-19 crisis. The third thing we started was a business interruption insurance for a lot of our local restaurants and other businesses that were being severely affected. And we've actually gotten a number of cases, and we are helping people try to see if they can collect money from their insurance company. Another thing we did, we took all of our car accident ads off the TV, off radio, and we had a film crew come to my home, and I had sat my two dogs next to me and sent a message to the community. We're going to stand strong. We're going to get through this together. And if you need any help, you call Meldon Law for anything, and we'll help you out.
I love it. So let me ask you then, with all these things that you guys have done, like, talk me through, I guess, at least the reason why early on you decided to do all these things. So, like, for example, even the hotline where someone can call with any legal issue, even outside of the areas of law that you guys practice, like, what was the thought behind something like that?
Well, I had to think of something that was different from what, it just seemed to me a little crass to be advertising, call me for your accident case in the middle of this epidemic that was just evolving. So, I just sat down one night and came up with all these ideas. And I said, okay, we can do that. So anyhow, that was the beginning of it. And, during the middle of all this, I'm negotiating to buy a new building in Ocala. I know you just were talking about how you bought a new building in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis. And, so I'm like already like thinking, 4, 5, 6 months down the road and what we're going to do. And in the middle of this, we've had some really good results as far as settling big cases. I just settled one last week for $1.4 million on Zoom. So that was a nice win. And it's been really interesting to see how our team has responded to the changes in the world.
Now, Jeffrey, there's going to be people that are watching this that may not be familiar with you, and they'll hear what you just said, and they're like, must be nice. This guy's getting these 7-figure verdicts during a time like this. They don't feel the pain that I am feeling, or in my practice area, what have you. What would you say to a person like that?
Well, you have to be creative and struggle. I've certainly, not always had it easy. I've had lots of nights when I worried about how to make payroll and things like that. But what I found is that you can't let fear take over. You need to think of how are you going to survive, and you will survive. You just need to, think of creative ways to do it. And I'll tell you, this has forced our office to do a lot of things differently. We were in a paper system with our office, and we went to FileVine 5 weeks ago, and now we're converting everything in the office, so we'll all be paperless. So that's a huge change. We got 25 people. And we actually brought in a team of young people to scan in everything. We're meeting Zoom meetings every single day. We have a meeting at 4 o'clock, and on Mondays we have one at 10 and 4. And we're playing all kinds of interesting games together. I started a program called Day in the Life. And every day, one person on the team talks about what about their life, their background, and how this COVID-19 crisis has affected their life.
I love that. I love that. And actually, on the notion of your team, now at a time when this was hitting its peak at first as COVID hit, a lot of businesses and law firms like across the country, they're laying off their teams, they're furloughing people, they're making a lot of cuts. You guys responded very differently. If you could speak to that, and then also how your team responded.
Well, I started a three-point program right away. And the program was, number one, everybody on the team stays safe, which meant they were going to move home for the most part and work remotely. Number two, that we were going to take care of our clients and do a great job for our clients. And number three, everybody was going to get their paycheck. They didn't have to worry about finances. We were going to take care of them. They were going to have to work a little harder and be a little creative and deal with the change. But I guaranteed everybody they were going to keep getting paid throughout the whole crisis.
So how did they respond?
Well, they loved it. There's still a little, BMW going on as far as, all the changes, and, oh my God, we're doing, we're going paperless at the same time we're going remote, and we're having this and that. And, it's great that, I went and I read Cy Wakeman's book before we had him at our conference. And so number one, the whole office had read the book. So they knew, that we were not going to put up with any, whining in the office. But then when I saw Cy, we came back and I had another meeting with the office. So it kind of helped get us through this whole crisis, because they understood that, number one, they were one of the few people that didn't have to worry about losing a paycheck, and that everything was going to be taken care of.
And then to shift gears from the business, what about personally? What have been some of the things that you have done to essentially stay in peak state, stay engaged? Because I know you were doing a lot before this. I mean, you were going to a gym, you were working with a trainer, all that stopped, right? Essentially with COVID.
Well, I never stopped. Yeah, I've been working out 26 years now. Every day, Monday through Thursday, I have a personal trainer, and I go to the gym. So I just had the personal trainer come to our backyard and work out on the pool deck. And as you know, we got a Peloton this morning, so that's exciting. And but the weather around Gainesville, Florida has been amazing. So we got our bikes all fixed up, and I've been riding 20, 30 miles a day on my bike. And that's been absolutely fabulous.
Man, good for you. Good for you. So then, as someone who has weathered many storms, I guess COVID being one of them, what advice would you have to other firm owners right now?
Well, I'll tell you, I think the mastermind group that you put together and all the CRISP programs you're putting on really helps, because you can get around negative people. So my advice is, get around people that are thinking positively, because if you get around people that are negative, they'll bring you down. My whole career, I've never focused in on what were other lawyers doing. I always focused in on, what can I do to help my business, to help my family, to help my community. And that's what you should be doing right now. Focus in on, how do I get through it? Everyone will get through it. You just need to, not let negativity drag you down.